If you go to a cafe or restaurant, you may see something like this on the table, for example, to scan for showing the menu. So how can we implement or add this feature to our project? First of all, we need to install this package simple QR code here using this command. I already installed it. And after that, we will create a new endpoint for downloading or just showing this QR. So I will say get QR code here and using request, parameter request. And to use this method or this package, it's very easy actually. The basic usage here, as we can see, just use QR code and generate and the strings that you want to code or scan. So I want to say here QR code will equal to QR code and generate here. And I want to generate, or when the user scan it, I want to go to these restaurants categories, right? Not the restaurant itself. I just want, after scanning, just list the categories for that restaurant and user can continue discovering the meals and the items. So I will say here in the API.php for this method, I will give it a name, or this root name categories. And don't forget here it takes dynamic restaurant ID, right, or model. So here also a second parameter, I will say restaurant here. But before generate, I want to format or generating a PNG format. So I will say format PNG. By the way, everything is mentioned here in the documentation. By the way, they have great documentation, right? And after that, I want to generate the first parameter is the string that you want to show after scanning or the URL. So for example, I would say test me, and I want to save it inside storage folder app public / and I want to save the restaurant code or slug because it's unique .png, right? So the first parameter is for the text or the content of QR, and the second parameter is optional to save it in anywhere you want. Or if you don't want to save it, it's okay, right? We have an error here. It must be dot for concatenation and .png. And now I want to say, for example, return response file and take the second parameter completely here. And I don't think we need the code or variable here. After that, I had created a route, by the way, with dynamic restaurant ID /QR, and here is our method. Let's now test it, and now we have our code here. If we try to scan it by downloading it here, let's open response.png, this one. I will say here QR scanner, and I will check it from here, response.png, and as we can see, the result of this QR is test me. Here is our string as we defined it inside the method here, but we want to make it dynamic, so I will say root, and using our root name, which is categories, with parameter restaurant, right? Now let's check it again, send the request and the response, save, replace, no problem. Now let's check, and as we can see here, after checking, it gives us the URL of categories for that restaurant. So if I click on it, because it's public, I can access it easily. Super easy. Let's send a request again. Let's remove this parameter. I will talk about it now. If you notice here, this is a little bit small, so if you want to control the size, we can use the size method here. Size in pixels, you can say 200, as you can see, 300. And if you want to set the margin of it, of the background, we can say margin 20. You can see here, let's set it to 5 only, and now we have white space to make it readable easily, and even let's reduce it to 2. Super easy for now. That's great. And the reason behind this download query parameter is downloading option. So now we show it only, but we can say if request query download, if we have download, then please download it by saying it here once we send a request. But instead of file, I will say download. For example, it's die and dump 1, 2, 3, or just 2. We have here the die and dump, and if I send a request, it will not be downloaded, because in Postman, if you want to download a file, we can send and download from here. Just click the arrow and send and download. And if you notice here, we have the new name, the best.png instead of response, because we renamed it right here. And even as a second parameter, you can give the any name you want. For example, test me. As we can see here, it's changed to test me, but I want to keep it as it. Slack.png, send and download. Replace because I downloaded it before. Let's check it. That's the best here, the new image, and let's scan it, refresh, and select the best.png, and it has been scanned directly. Now I can open the categories and continue the journey for discovering the item. That's quickly how to generate and scan QR. See you next video.